The Centers for Disease Control has come up with a new set of guidelines that businesses need to follow in order to be able to safely reopen so that we can get this economy up and running again. And unfortunately, for some unknown reason, the Trump administration has decided that these guidelines from the CDC will, quote, never see the light of day. That is what scientists at the Centers for Disease Control were told when they came out with these new guidelines. Your guidelines will never see the light of day, is what these scientists were told. Why? We all know. We have heard Donald Trump say this. We have seen him tweet it, that we got to get the economy running again. We got to open things up, right? You've got those angry conservative mobs out there with their guns saying, open things up. Republican governors saying, well, let's open things up even though we know people are going to die. They've actually literally said that. Greg Abbott of Texas, for example. So the CDC says, okay, well, y'all want to reopen. Here's the things that need to be done. Just do these things and things will be, kind of okay. It's still not great, but you know what? If you insist on reopening, here's what you should do. But the Trump administration says, no, we're not going to release these. We're not going to let businesses know what to do. And the reason that they have given for not letting these guidelines go out there to these businesses is because they're, quote, too prescriptive. Too prescriptive. And what they mean by that, as they explained, was what's good for rural Tennessee may not necessarily be good for New York City. How can we apply one-size-fits-all guidelines to every single city in this country when every city is different and unique? Oh, that's a special thought, isn't it? We're all special and unique. But here's the thing that these idiots don't understand. First of all, they understand that they're lying. They do know that. But let me go ahead and read you some of these guidelines. And you tell me if you think that this should apply to both rural Tennessee and New York City. Let's just see what some of the guidelines say. The section on reopening child care facilities recommends that the facilities avoid plush toys, make sure each child has their own plate during mealtime, and stagger drop-off and pickup times for parents. Now, is that something that we could do in both Tennessee and in New York? I mean, are there different regulations on toys and not sharing plates at meal? That, to me, honestly, that's what's kind of scary anyway. Like, why do we have to tell these daycares that the kids can't share plates? Were they making kids share plates to begin with? That's not good. That's an outbreak of anything waiting to happen. Why are we even having to tell them this? That's scary. It continues. The recommendations for restaurants include installing physical barriers such as sneeze guards around host stations and avoiding the use of handheld buzzers to inform waiting patrons that their table is ready. Now, I don't know about you, but I think those could apply in rural Tennessee or New York City or Pensacola, Florida, or San Francisco, California, or Denver, Colorado, or literally any other city in the United States of America. Those are pretty generic. I don't think they're over-prescriptive at all. But this administration is terrified of those guidelines. Why? Because it sends the message that clearly we're not ready. This country is not ready to reopen. We have lots of things to do. But to be perfectly honest too, like these recommendations from the CDC, these should not just be put in place to fight from the coronavirus. These should be the new normal. Again, like not having preschool kids share the same plate at mealtime. That should just be a thing we do. The sneeze guards, that should be a thing we do. You know, the little X's and lines that they have in supermarkets now where you can't, you got to wait at the line and not be right up on somebody's neck. That's driven me crazy for years when people do that and you're trying to put in your PIN number. Anyway, that's beside the point. That should be standard. The sanitizing of grocery carts, the sanitizing of gym equipment and things like that. Why aren't we doing this? How many lives could we save each year, not just from coronavirus, but from the flu? How many people could we stop from getting the common cold? How many sinus infections could we avoid if we simply cleaned a little? If we simply weren't right on top of each other while waiting in line to check out at the grocery store? Folks, these are common sense things that this country needs to adopt permanently. But for the Trump administration to be blocking these right now is utter insanity.